From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters on this very special night. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, shop at the SOR Vault, sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club like Sparky did today, and of course, we read the night. We got great books for you. Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire is updated as well. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by donating to Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. You know, I have to tell you, I have just the biggest smile on my face tonight. Why, you may ask? It's because of our guest. Butch Witkowski has been a major part of this show for almost 4 years, coming on the final Monday of every month to talk all things weird and strange. And just a few months ago, I was floored to find out that just a couple of days before showtime, we almost lost him to a heart attack. But the one thing I know about Butch is that he's just way too mean for heaven and way too cranky for hell. So we got him back. And finally, after 6+ months of recovery, Butch returns tonight for Strange Days. We're going to let Butch tell you the rest of the story, his website, UFOcop.com. Then at the bottom of Hour 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Butch Witkowski, you have no idea how grateful I am to welcome you back to Spaced Out Radio. I got goosebumps, and I got to admit, my friend, I'm a little choked up having you back here. Thank you.
I'm thrilled to be back. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of choice on taking some time off. It was either that or, the deep six. And, but, it's been 18 weeks now since the heart attack. It was pretty nasty. It was one of those deals where, if I would have had anything close to a second one, that would be the end. But what I wanted to say was that, I missed all the people on SOAR. I mean, these people make me crazy. But that's the good part. But I want to thank them all for their thoughts and prayers throughout this whole thing. Like I said, it's been 18 weeks now. Doctor cleared me today as far as driving and stuff like that. And it's just good to be back in the saddle, I think. So I'm ready for the SOAR team. Let's get at it.
I can tell you, Butch, I was probably inundated with multiple messages every week. Some, at one point, it was about every day to every second day, people messaging me, and I just didn't want to trouble you because I knew what you were going through. I knew I was checking up on you a little bit on Facebook, and we had a few phone calls in between, but I wanted to give you your space and make sure that everything was A-okay on your end without me bugging you. And, I got a little excited last month because I thought you had typed in that you were returning last month, and then you were like, dude, we got 1 month to go. Can't do it. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, I blew it. But that's okay. That's okay.
But the only reason for that was, I'm on, at that, up until that point last month, I was on some drugs that, like, I could be talking to you and like, hey, so did you see that bird go by? I didn't see it. You know what I mean? I would lose it. So I'm done with that stuff. There's some drugs I'll be on the rest of my life, like blood thinners and like that kind of crap. But basically feeling good. I mean, don't smoke anymore. That kind of sucks.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, me too. But it was quite an experience. I really thought, like I talked to when we were talking earlier this evening, the last thing I remember when they got me into the hospital, which was really great because it's a Class 1 trauma center for cardiac. So I remember talking to a priest I thought, yeah, well, okay, this don't look good. And then, I woke up the next day, and they tried to do stents, and they said, look, you were beyond stents. And I wound up with quadruple bypass, open heart surgery on the heart-lung machine, all that crap for 5.5, 6 hours, I think it was. And according to my cardiac guy, the guy that did the surgery, he says, look, he said, by the time this is over, he said, another couple months, he said, you'll be able to outrun Bigfoot. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's sobering. I mean, when you think of what could have happened in a matter of just a few minutes, and how fast it happens, and talking to other people that have gone through it, it's kind of wild.
You actually had a premonition that this was coming.
Yeah. About, for a few months. I didn't know what was coming, but something was coming. And I kept saying to my wife, I said, I just don't feel good. And not that I was, sick or anything like that. I just don't feel right. Something's just not right. And I said to her, then one day I just looked at her and said, I think I'm going to have a heart attack. And she just looked at me like, yeah, right. A guy your size, big, tough guy. And I'm going no, I'm serious. I said, I'm telling you, I think something's coming. And that particular night, June 23rd, I just stood up looked at her, and I said, I'm going to take a shower. And she said, okay. And I turned around, and then I turned around again and faced her. And my left arm was just, it was a pain, like on fire type pain. And just felt like I just got shot in the chest. And I just looked at her and I said, you need to dial 911. And she went, what's wrong? And I said, I'm having a heart attack. And I sat down in the chair. And the guys were really close. The ambulance, the paramedics, they were like only 10 minutes away. But what was crazy was, and they came through the front door. And this young fellow looks at me and he says, sir, you're having a heart attack. And I said, well, what was your first clue, Sparky? And he was kind of dumbfounded, like, I said, let's get this going, buddy. and so we were outside for 10 minutes where they hooked you all up and connect to the radio and everything. But I'll tell you what, I was, first of all, I was damn lucky they were that close. And second, I was extremely lucky that our trauma center here is a cardiac trauma center. So they got 3 floors of nothing but cardiac. And, they tried the stent thing, so they said it wouldn't have worked out, and they were going to do the open heart surgery. And the surgeon came in the next day and said, look, it's just not going to happen. We're going to open you up. We're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, well, you do what you got to do. What am I going to say? No, I'm not going to argue with the guy. And he said, we'll get you in there this afternoon. And it was a 5.5, 6 hour operation. And everything worked out. I got this neat 18-inch zipper down the middle of my chest.
Oh, nice. And
a bunch of holes underneath that, and a couple holes up. I got holes everywhere. But look, I'm just thankful to be alive. It does give you a whole new perspective. I've accumulated for next month when I'm on in November. I got reports up the yin yang. I just been getting them and putting them on my desk in the library on a pile, and kind of going through a little bit of them at a time. But I'll have lots to talk about. And the one night I was out front, and that was just a few weeks ago, and I just looking up at the sky, and I saw one of the best viewings of a UFO that I ever saw. And I've seen 19 so far, and over 30 years. And I watched this thing for like 2.5, 3 minutes. I mean, it was steady moving, zigzagging back and forth, your typical white orb. And then it stops and goes straight up. And I went like, now that is cool. Only because usually you only get to see these things for a couple seconds. I watched this thing for like 3 minutes.
When was this?
About 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Out of my front porch. It was nice, clear night. Not a cloud in sight. Lots of stars, and it caught my eye right away because where I live now, I have dark sky. I don't have any excuse me, light pollution, and when something moves, whether it's an airplane or a satellite or whatever, you catch up. Your eyes go to it right away. And I just walked out on the porch, turned around, and put my head up, and I saw it coming out of my left from the west, heading east, and I got like 3 minutes worth till it went out of sight and went up. But typical zigzag, well, at least I know they're still around. But
well, I like Char's comment in the chat room where she says it was almost like they were probably checking on you.
I wouldn't doubt that either. I've had people checking on me that I don't even know who they are, and that's the God's truth. I've heard from people that if I met them or I don't know if they read the blog or for the radio shows or whatever, but they're just like old home week, and I'm going like every day it's somebody new, and I really do appreciate it. I mean, I've always tried to have fun with the shows that I've done. I got like 5 scheduled already. Now that they know I can talk, just put me on. But it's a sobering feeling to think that all that you've done and all that you can do can be gone in the blink of an eye. And that's how quick it hit me, the blink of an eye. I mean, I was standing there, I turned around, and until I turned around again, it was like dial 911. So I can understand when people say they didn't have a chance, because I really didn't have a chance. I was just I was just taken. It was something I'd never experienced before. Oh, I've had motorcycle wrecks, car wrecks, fights, stabbed, all that crazy shit. But this is the first time it was something that I couldn't control. I had no control. And I knew I was in trouble. I knew that right away. I knew that instantly that I was in trouble. And I've never had any symptoms like that before. I mean, like, I might have chest pain or something. No, this was if you're going to have one, you're going to know it, because it is totally foreign. I mean, I just can't describe how quick the pain comes on. It was like a matter of a split second from the time I was looking at my wife till I turned around again, it was already there. And your mind just automatically says, to somebody, or if you're lucky enough to have somebody sitting there, dial 911. And, of course, then you'll get the guy come through the door looking at you and going like, I think you're having a heart attack. Okay, Sparky. But, so hopefully, maybe another 30 days, I'll be, back to my same old ornery self.
Same old? Are you not already there?
Yeah, probably. Pretty close. But I'll tell you, they do give you great drugs in the hospital. Oh, my God. I said to one nurse one night, I said, I'm really having a problem sleeping. She said, she gave me a pill that looked like a Pez. Remember those?
Yeah. Yes.
And then she broke it in half. She said, you only need half of this. And I went like, well, I really want to go to sleep. She said, oh, you'll go to sleep. I remember drinking the water after I took the pill. I don't remember anything.
Beautiful.
I woke up 9 hours later. Hey, got some great stuff. But
well, I do have to ask, because this is a paranormal show, and I don't mean this to be rude or crude.
Sure.
But a lot of people who have these massive heart attacks like you did see the light. They go someplace. They go on an adventure or have an out-of-body experience. Did you have any of that? No, I thought about that when I got home. Matter of fact, I was watching a show on TV, and they were just talking about that. And I thought, I thought long and hard, but whatever they did before they were going to do the stints, when they had me downstairs in the emergency cardiac unit, I went out so fast. It was like crazy. Like I said, the last thing I remember is seeing my wife talking to a priest. I don't remember anything after that till the next day. And the day of the operation, I don't even know when they put me under. I was supposed to go to the operating theater at 3:30 to get prepped.
And I don't even remember the lady, the nurse coming in at 3 o'clock to give me a shot in the IV. And I didn't wake up until the next day at 9:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And I mean, it's totally black. And then you got, and another thing too is, which I think has something to do with it. I've been reading this stuff, trying to catch up on all the stuff that happened. Of course, you're not awake for it. But when you're on that heart-lung machine, when that machine takes over, you know, you're basically dead. Your body is finished. The only thing that thing is doing is pumping blood through and keeping your heart going. And then you got wires hanging out of your shoulder, you know, for jump start in case the machine don't get you started up right away. But I thought about that. You know, did I have any experience that I can't explain, or did I think about something? No, it was that all I can remember was black, total blackness. Total blackness. And then when they were taking the tube out, the breathing tube from the machine after they got everything started up again, I fought that. That woke me up, and I couldn't breathe. And I used a couple of those perfectly good Butch Witkowski 4-letter words to get it out. And all I can remember is the guy saying, just a minute, it's coming, and it was out. And I just remember a bunch of fluid coming out of my mouth, and everybody getting kind of excited, and then it kind of died down. Then I was out again, and then I woke up the next morning. But it's weird. You know, everybody, you know, they take the veins now, or arteries, from so many different places. Like, some get them from the chest, and they did check that when they opened me up. They said, oh, you had plenty of arteries, they were just too small. And then they go through the one they took was in my left arm, and it's from my wrist up to my elbow. But like they said, it was clean, it was perfect, it was big. That's what we were looking for, and that qualified me for some kind of new technique that they're using. I was only the third one they had done it in 2019, and wow. But it's something to do with the way they attach it. They instead of just like sewing it on, they make a they have a tool that makes a flange, and then I'm going to say staple because I don't know what the word is. They told me, but it's a permanent. I mean, well, when I went to the hospital for a checkup the one time, I walked through the metal detector, set that off like a Christmas tree.
Oh, nice.
So. But they knew it right away. I mean, you know, the guy saw. And sometimes I have to use a cane because I get a little lopsided. If I'm supposed to take the drugs and then relax for like 15, 20 minutes. Well, you know me. I take the drugs and I want to go run up the street. So I get dizzy. So I gotta have the a cane. But I see on here PBR Street Gang just says, "Does your leg hurt?" No, legs are fine. They took it out of my arm, the artery. Only because it was big, it was clean, it was what they were looking for, and you know, it gave me the 3 up front and the 1 in the back of the heart. And the doctor came in, the surgeon came in, he says, "You should be able to outrun Bigfoot now." And I went like, okay. And I thought to myself, how does he know that? And my wife gave him one of my cards. My wife gave him one of my cards, so I guess he was on the website or something.
I got a question from little Ronnie Moniak over in Saskatchewan. If you look to your east, he's probably can be seen waving the Ukrainian watermelon there because it's so flattened. Anyways, he is asking, did you have any battles with depression after the incident?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Anxiety is terrible. For the first month, no, not at all. Because they give you a drug because they know it's coming, and they want you to be calm and collected and all that stuff. But after you only get that for 30 days, the anxiety is unbelievable, and that hit me when I was watching Three Stooges comedy, and I started crying. Or I was watching, what was another one that got me? I was watching, as a matter of fact, I was watching something on space travel, and spaceship destroyed itself on the pad. I started crying. I'm going like, something's not right here. So when I talked to the doctor, he said, that's anxiety. He says, when you have any major operation where, they open you up, whether, now mine, they went through the chest area. I mean, they opened it up. Some heart things like valves and stuff like that, they go through your side. But anything major where they go into, and especially where you're on a heart-lung machine, so your body isn't functioning. The machine's keeping you alive, and they have no explanation for that. I take a Zoloft pill twice a day. I'll only be on that for another month and a half, 2 months, and then because I noticed the difference right away. And that's a pill that's basically for depression, anxiety. But when it was at its worst point, I would be sitting in the chair. I did a lot of book reading, so I'd be sitting there reading, and I'd stop reading, and I just think of like, well, when does the next one hit me, or where am I going to be when I drop over dead, or am I going to be walking out front with the dog and I drop over and nobody sees me for like 6 hours till they come and pick up my carcass? I mean, all these weird thoughts come through your head. And, they don't mean anything. It's only, it's the trauma of going through what you just went through. And in the back of your mind, you realize how close you came to dying. Now, in the police department, that happened a few times. When I was young and dumb and racing motorcycles, that happened a few times. But not like this. This is the final period in the sentence. You will die, period. End of story. Ain't going to be no saving your fat ass. But, thank God. I mean, I am where I am. And like I said, I had so many people contact me on email. My email box was getting ridiculous. I mean, I punch it up like maybe every other day or something like that. And, you have like 200 emails of people wishing you luck or, take care, do this, do that. And a lot of them were SOAR members. It's nice that people take the time to, just wish you luck.
Well, there's a lot of love out there for you, big guy. A lot of love.
It's hard to explain. You take so many things for granted in life. I mean, everything. You take everything for granted.
Yeah.
And then when that gets taken away, suddenly, you realize that, you're just a little pea in the pod. I mean, there's just... in the flash of an eye, in a flash of an eye, that can be taken away. And that's Butch, it. It's done.
Right there. We're going to cut you right off because we're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Strange Days. Our man, Butch Witkowski, is back, people. And we're going to continue with his story right after this on the Mighty SOR.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thorne, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know little brother is watching.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Thiemer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckard, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a Space Traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters, and man, is it getting cold outside. I don't think it was above freezing today up here, but that's okay. Winter is coming, so is that horrible night, winter time change. God, I hate that time change, too. I hope we get rid of that. We may be getting rid of that in the next year. Hey, I want to remind all of you that all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. It's updated daily. Get your horns up for Bumblefoot. You can shop at the SOR Vault. Get yourself a new t-shirt, pillow, buttons, you name it, we got it. We also have We Read the Night, where we got some great authors with some great books there. We're going to be adding more very soon. And, of course, join the SOR Space Travelers Club, just like Sparky did today. So make sure you do that. $5 a month. Butch Witkowski is back after almost a 6-month hiatus after suffering a heart attack. He's still around, he's still cranky, and he's still here on Spaced Out Radio for Monday's Strange Days. Butch, welcome back to the show.
Oh, you can't believe how happy I am to be back.
Oh, you know, I've just been reading the comments from everybody on Twitter and on our chat rooms, the Space Travelers Club, Spreaker, our website, Space Travelers Club, everybody, man. You make sure you do me the favor when we're done here. Take the time to read it. There's a lot of love for you on here, my friend. A lot of love that you are back with us.
Yeah, I felt that through the conveyance of emails and Twitter and on my website and stuff, Facebook. I mean, it was you don't expect that, you know, and you always expect the family stuff, of course, you know. But when you see all the comments and it's just not the one day. I mean, they're almost some of those people are checking on me on a daily basis, and that's no joke. I had one guy stop at the house. It doesn't live too far away. He's an investigator down in Bucks County, and he said, "I just couldn't believe it." He said, "I had to see it." So I pulled my shirt up, and he went like, "Okay, I believe it now." But it's amazing. You know, people always talk about how the community, paranormal, ufology, or cryptid, they're always at each other's throats, and you know they can't stand each other. They hate each other. They'd rather stab them than look at them. I have finally come to the conclusion that that's not true. I mean, we can agree to disagree on things. I know I'm a stickler for evidence. I want to see evidence, not just hear the story. Sometimes the story's pretty cool, though. And I know some people don't like that, but it's just me. You know, I need to see the evidence. I need to see something more than a story. And that's got me in trouble more than once, but, you know, that's the way it is. But to have so many people, and I mean, Dave, I can't tell you how many people. I mean, it's in the hundreds, and that's no exaggeration whatsoever. It was I think the only words that I can use, it was heart-wrenching for me, and the anxiety is going to take over here in a second, so I got to be careful. I'll be sobbing like a bitch. It is really something that you know you're touching people, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. And when something happens, you know, they're the first ones to jump up to make sure that you're okay. I had people offer to send me money and stuff. No, I got insurance, so I don't need any money. And I had a lot of tips on how to heal from some people out there that have had it done. And a couple of those came in handy. But it just keeps my faith that the communities out there in the paranormal realm ain't all that. They're not all that bad, and there are a lot of good people out there. And so, in about the next 7 days, buddy, we'll be out chasing Dogman and the bipedal canine around Pennsylvania wooded areas and a couple caves we're going to go into. Of course, my wife ain't happy about the cave deal, but I've always told my people that, I always want the slow ones close by so I can trip them and get back to the truck.
Good. Yep. Yeah, my buddy Mark, Bazooka Joe, we've talked about him numerous times. Before we always go out in the forest, the first thing he says to me every bloody time is, "Don't be surprised if I shoot you in the leg if something happens." I'm like, why? Why would you do that? He goes, "Well, better you than me." And I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
Right? And I'm like, "Thanks, buddy." Hey, I got a question from Nick here. And sure. Nick is asking, because now that you're using the assistance of a cane, but in Butch Witkowski style, does that cane have a hidden sword in it?
You're not going to believe this. I can't believe somebody asked that question. Yes, it does, and it's also camouflaged.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting that answer. I totally was not expecting that answer.
I wasn't expecting that question.
Oh. Wow. Good question, Nick. Very, very good question. I was not expecting that whatsoever. Butch, you've had a lot of time to sit back, relax, and kind of go over, as much as you possibly can with your energy about everything that is going on in your world with UFO Cop and the relationships and the investigations that are now piling up on your office here. In your time sitting back and just looking from an outside, what have you really noticed about the field? Whether it's cryptid, whether it's UFOs, did something change for you in regards to it all?
Cryptids really picked up a lot. And now that, when I say a lot, a few here in Pennsylvania, but across the country, a lot. Dogman reports out west, Bigfoot reports in the Northwest, Canada, of course. But UFOs, big pickup. A lot of triangles being seen right now. Now, I have to think back. It's only a couple of years ago, and even though I didn't live in this area where I live now, at that time, I was investigating triangle reports in this area back then, and they're still happening. I mean, I have 3 on my desk right now, and it's kind of neat because people live right around here, so I can have them come to the house, and that's what I'm going to do next week. I'm just going to invite them over to the house and let them, I'll take their reports and I'll look at their stuff there. But I've gotten some weird pictures. I mean, there's a couple there that I've really tried to take them apart the best I could, is with what I have. And I have to say what they are, and it's definitely a UFO. It's nothing that I've ever seen before. It's sort of like a classic saucer, but it doesn't have the where you have the bottom and top meet like a pie plate, right? It's more. At the bottom, it's almost squared off edges, very sharp edges, and then the top is very smooth. But the one video I got, and I just sent that out a couple days ago to a guy that does my video stuff, because I just don't have that equipment. And I said to him, I said, it looks like the bottom is spinning in one direction, and the top is spinning in another direction, and that's what I wanted him to look at. So I'm hoping to hear from him this week. But that was strange to me because it was a very close sighting. This thing was only like 2,000 feet off the ground, and the guy that took the video is a professional photographer, and he was actually out shooting a highway that they just opened up, and he was thinking that the lights looked so cool against the starry sky up on the hill, and that's what he was videoing. And then he caught this thing out of the corner of his eye, and he got about a 4-minute shot on it. But to me, it looks like the bottom spins counterclockwise and the top is spinning clockwise, which I've never even read before, let alone saw. So I'm hoping that works out, and I'll have that information for the next time I'm on SOAR. But abductions, yeah, they seem to be picking up too. I didn't get any of them, but a couple of researchers that I deal with, they were telling me about, they each got a couple. And what's funny about it is they're all down south, the southern part of the country. And 2 of them happened when they had those storms come through a couple months ago. One guy was abducted while he was getting his boat out of the garage. And when he woke up, he was in the boat and he was 13 miles away from where he was. And he don't remember anything. It's just, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. I noticed that there's a lot more of these ghost paranormal shows on TV lately. They seem to be really pumping those up. I still don't buy those for some reason. They just seem too convenient for me. I mean, I know people have been out there in the field for years, never had anything happen. And these folks seem to go out every week and something happens, and it's a big deal. But that's the business, I guess. But thankfully, there's a lot more people out there that actually do it right than the people are out there that are doing it wrong.
I got to ask you, did you miss the field? I know you're a go-getter and you kind of do your own thing and you kind of have your own agenda, which is why I like you, and your independence from the rest of the paranormal supernatural community. But did you miss the community as a whole, talking about it, living it every day the way you normally do?
Yes, terribly. It was almost like I was devoid of knowing anything that was going on or having contact with anybody or anybody contacting me. It was just like, somebody shut the door and all of a sudden what I was doing for 30 years or over 30 years was no longer in existence. But again, that was really the drugs, because I really couldn't do a whole lot walking around the house. I'd swear myself out, just like walking from my office to the library, from the library to the kitchen to the bedroom to the bathroom, and I'd have to sit down. And so I wasn't, there was a part of me that wanted to really get in there and whack up the computers and, get the phone flying. And there was another part of me and going like, sit your fat ass down. And, and then my wife kind of straightened me out, and she said, look, you keep messing around. She said, you fall and crack your head open while nobody's here, and you're not going to be able to stop the bleeding. She said, you might as well just go have another heart attack. I'm like, okay, I'll behave. So, she sets me out there real quick.
How's the wife been through all of this?
Disgusting. She treats me like I'm a 10-year-old. But then she's not too far off with that. I'm probably a 12-year-old. Like I want to go out and jump on the motorcycle. No. I want to take the car out and go somewhere. No. I want to go out and work in a truck. No. Yeah, everything's no. But that's changed. I mean, in the last couple of weeks now, I've been able to get out and about. I don't go far. I'll go shopping with her, or I go to my favorite place, Home Depot, and walk around. Unfortunately, every time I go in there, I spend a couple $100. I'll never get over that. But
you shouldn't. It's a manly right.
It's coming back slowly. The way it was. I was just impatient in the very beginning. Like, okay, they fixed it. I can do anything now. No, you can't. When they have you all drugged up in the hospital, you're not feeling any pain. But you come home and you're not getting those real powerful drugs like they're giving you. They're just giving you stuff that'll, keep you comfortable. And, that where they took the machete to your chest, I mean, that's thumping away. And where they opened up your arm, you're getting your thumbs getting numb and you can't make a fist. And I mean, all that stupid stuff. And so it was just like, I finally put it into my head a few weeks out when I got home that just sit your ass down and do what you got to do, and this will work itself out in the long run. But so far, so good. And, I got a good report from the doctor. I mean, they did all, the EKG and the blood pressure and beats per minute and all. Everything was fine. I lost weight. So I guess it'll all work out eventually. Then I'll probably walk outside and get hit by a friggin' bus.
Well, you better not. We've been through a lot here, Butch. We've been through a lot. Like, we need to...
Now, wouldn't that suck? You go outside and take a deep breath and go, yeah, and you step off the curb and get nailed.
That would suck.
What the hell am I laughing about?
Oh, my goodness.
That wasn't funny at all.
My goodness, gee whiz! So as you were sitting at home, how did you investigate? Were you working the phones? Were you doing all that kind of stuff, or what were you up to?
I was talking to a couple members of my team on a couple reports that I found real interesting, which they picked up right away. I just emailed them the report and they took care of it, which is going to take us to our first two visits. One is out on Chestnut Ridge in Fayette County, and the other one is going to be a cave adventure where we have, now I'm going to say creature because the description isn't Bigfoot, the description isn't as we know it, and nor is the bipedal as we know it. The guy just said it was big, it was bipedal, it had a large head, it was not a bear, and he said it was down by the creek, it went down the creek. He just kind of peeked around the tree and watched it as it went toward the cave. And I said, there's a cave there. And he said, yeah, as a matter of fact, there's two of them. Now, the one, he said, is flooded. He said, you can get in about 25 yards and it's flooded. He said, the other one goes back, he said, about 150 yards before the water's there. So, and we have the necessary gear to do that. So it's not a really big deal. But it's, those are the two that are upcoming. But, yeah, I read the reports as I got them, and kind of really sucked because I couldn't do anything about them. But so I kind of relied on my guys to take care of stuff that I thought was, had to be done right now. A couple of them, maybe 5 or 6, are historical reports. One's from 86, 87 era, and the other one's from 99 to 2000, somewhere in there, and they're both bipedal reports. So it's you're at a loss. You know what I mean? It's just like, you do what you do every day, and you know what you're going to do every day. And I'm the same way. Even though I'm retired, I know what I got to do every day, and who I got to contact, and what I got to follow up on. And when you can't do it, it's like you feel lost. Like you don't know what to do next. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, and if you take this pill, you're going to sleep for an hour and a half. So it was weird. That's the best way I can describe this whole situation. It was just totally weird. Things that I expected to happen didn't happen. Things that I expected would never happen, happened. I mean, if somebody would have told me I'd be watching the Three Stooges and crying, I'd have probably slapped them. But that happened. I mean, things that were. I was watching a war movie one time a couple of weeks ago, and it was a pretty devastating account of the landings during World War II in France. I was crying like a baby. My wife said, "You really need to knock that off." I said, "Hey, I can't help it." That's the worst part of it, the anxiety. Because what you do, to get it down to basics, what you're doing is you're sitting there thinking what's going to happen next. So when do I have the next heart attack? When do I fall over dead? You know, am I going to see my grandkids? Am I going to see my wife? Am I going to see my friends? You know, or am I just going to fall over one day and that's going to be the end of it? It'll all come to a close. And that gets under your skin, and it just hammers at your brain. But now they got me on this Zoloft, I think it's called. So
I do have to ask you though. Even though, as we got about 2 minutes here before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. Even though you don't recall having any near-death experience, out-of-body experience, or anything like that, do you feel a little ripped off by that, Butch? I mean, here you are, an investigator extraordinaire regarding all of this weird crap. And you go through the situation yourself, you have the perfect opportunity, and you blew it, Butch. You blew it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one way of looking at it. Look, I'm just happy it worked out the way it did, Dave. Thank you. Although, I do have to bring this one up, and I'll bring it up when we come back from break. There was a guy that came into my room. It was 2 days after I had my operation, and he was also a survivor of the same type of operation. And he's just a volunteer, and he goes around to the rooms where people have had this operation in the cardiac unit and the trauma unit, and he just sits there and talks to you. Like, this guy came out of nowhere and just sat down. He's just like he knew me his whole life. And I'll finish that up when we come back off a break, but that's a little spooky.
No kidding. No kidding. I wouldn't even do that. I don't like people like that. I don't. I was mentioning it the other day on the air. Like, I even hate parades, man. I hate parades when strangers wave at me. Drives me nuts. Drives me absolutely nuts. So to have some stranger come into my room, if I was in your situation, to try and be my friend, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you here? Does anybody like you? You know, I would be asking those questions. I really would.
Well, I did ask one question, and I will share that with you guys.
Yeah,
when we come back.
Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, my friend, I'm going to get you to hold on here as we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. We are proud, so proud, to have Butch Witkowski back from UFO Cop. That's UFORCOP.com on his website. Butch is the creator and lead investigator of this great organization. His first show back since a major heart attack in early spring, and we're so happy to have Butch back. Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio coming up. We'll get to your questions as well. Stay tuned for more SOR in Hour 2.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is watching.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Always a pleasure to have you with us. We want to give a shout out to everybody listening in on KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, and KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Great to have you with us. Don't forget, you can check out our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Unicity. Unicity is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. You can also fill out a Sightlines report if you've had anything weird, strange happen to you. We read the night. Pick yourself up a brand new book. Shop at the SOR Vault, and don't forget to join the SOR Space Travelers Club. It is $5 a month. Boy, this feels good to say. It really does. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days is back on Spaced Out Radio. Oh, you have no idea how relieved I am to say that after Butch, if you're just tuning in, had a heart attack earlier this spring. He is now healthy enough to rejoin us on the show. His website, uforcop.com. Butch, welcome back.
You can't believe how good it feels to be back. Let me get back to where.
Yeah.
Let me just get back to where I was before I lose my train of thought, because these drugs make me goofy.
Sure.
So I'm laying in bed. It's like 9 o'clock at night. It's maybe 3 days after the operation, and I sent my wife home. I said, go home, because she was with me the whole 2 weeks, and she didn't leave my side. But she did have the insurance papers in her pocket, and I can't figure that one out yet. So she leaves, and about 5 minutes later, this guy walks in, a tall, thin, older gentleman, probably in his late 60s, early 70s. Thin, balding, he sits down in the chair, and he looks at me, and I'm looking at him, I'm going like, can I help you? And he says, I just go around and talk to the people that have had this operation. He said, I've had this operation. He said, and sometimes you just need people to talk to. And, he asked me what happened, what I had, and he'd tell me what he had, and this went on for about 10 or 15 minutes. He said, well, if you need anything, just tell them to ask for Paul. And he said, I'm here every day. He said, I just walk around and, just make sure that people aren't scared of what's going on and what to look forward to. And I'm like, yeah, okay, goodbye. So he left. So a nurse came in, And I said to the nurse, I said, who's this Paul guy? Now, you know, he had on a staff jacket that said volunteer staff. And she said, what are you talking about? And I said, Guy Paul, wearing a blue jacket, said staff, Tower Health staff. You know, he talks about his cardiac problem and goes around, talks to people. And she says, I still have no idea who you're talking about. And I went like, okay. She said, but I've only been here for 2 weeks on this floor. So she said, let me get the head nurse. So the head nurse comes in. I tell her the same thing. She said, we don't have anybody like that around here. She said, why would we let anybody just walk into your room?
Hold on a second here. So this guy says he's staff coming in to check on you.
Mm-hmm.
And
had it on his jacket. On his jacket it said volunteer staff.
And not a single nurse knew anything about this.
Nope.
What the hell?
I even asked my cardiac surgeon when I got to see him 2 weeks after I got out. And I said, do you know about a guy named Paul goes around and talks to people about their operation? He went like, no, never heard of that. What was that all about? And I told him, he said, never heard of that guy. Maybe it's something new. I said, nobody else heard of him either.
Wow.
And I'm not letting that one go.
And you're sure you weren't sleeping?
Oh, I was wide awake. Just said goodbye to my wife. She left. She walked out the door, and 2 minutes later, he walked in the door. And he was only there the one time. At that point, I probably would have been there another 6 days, 7 days.
That is creepy, man.
Yeah, I kind of thought that, but, you know, nothing became of it. I mean, like, nothing strange happened or anything like that. And he seemed, I don't know, legit to me,
Now, how long did he sit with you?
15 minutes, maybe.
Did you shake his hand or anything?
No. Mm-mm. Nope. I was laying in bed.
Oh, I'm getting the shivers.
Peg left, and 2 minutes later he walked in, introduced himself, and he just sat down in the chair across from the bed, told me what he does and who he is and this, that, and told me all about his operation and stuff, and he said, how do you feel? And, basic, kind of telling me what's going to happen, some of the things like the healing process and, that kind of stuff and the type of drugs you're going to be on and blah, 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 blah. And then he said, well, I better get on here. And I said, I got other people to talk to. And he said, walked over and shook my hand and walked out the door.
Did he feel real when he shook hands?
Yeah. And then it was about, maybe 5-10 minutes. The nurse came in. She was bringing water. I had to drink a lot of water. And she brought a pitcher of water in. And I said, what do you know about this Paul guy? What's his story? And she said, what are you talking about? And I told her the whole story. She says, I've only been here 2 weeks on this floor. She said, I transferred down from the third floor. She said, but I'll go get the head nurse. Maybe she knows. And she came in, and I told her the story, and she just looked at me. She's like, we don't have anybody like that around here. She said, why would we let anybody just walk into your room? So she said she was going to notify security, and that was that. He was about 6'1", skinny, very, very skinny. Balding, kind of a gaunt face, like somebody's sickly. But that was it. That was the only weird thing. And then I basically forgot about it, and then a couple times I've thought about it and said, like, wonder who in the hell he was.
My goodness. You got to think that might have been somebody who didn't make it, had the same procedures, maybe recalled it, but died shortly after.
I thought of that. But when I shook his hand, that seemed real. I mean, Now, if my hand would have passed through his, I probably would have ran out of the room. But, don't know. No clue.
Wow. Any other paranormal experiences while you were in the hospital?
No. No, it was so mundane. It's so quiet, you know. You don't even feel like watching television because it's the same old shows every day. And you know, when you first come out of surgery for that next 3 days, there's somebody in your room every 5 minutes doing something. You know, they're pulling a tube out here or yanking this or sticking your hair. Oh, God, it's crazy. But, you know, oxygen on, oxygen off, blood tests every couple hours. And they come in, they take your blood pressure, you know, make sure, they're just in there making sure everything's right, you know. And, but I never figured Paul out. I mean, it wasn't like he was asking or saying anything dumb or out of the ordinary. I mean, he was discussing pretty much exactly what I had done. And he had a double bypass. And what else? He was saying about the incision took so long to heal. But I heard that when I came out. I was at my grandson's graduation, and my daughter-in-law's father was there, and he had it done 10 years ago. And I said to him, I said, so how long does it take for this pain in the ass that they got in the middle of your chest? And he said, it took him over a year. I'm like, wow. And I said something to the doctor today about it. And he says, look, he said, people say it's going to be like 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and it'll be gone. No. He said, look for a year or better. He said, one day you'll wake up and it'll never happen. You'll never feel it again. He said, it just goes away. But he said, right now, he said, it's red, you know. I think they call it a ketoid looking thing, almost like a burn victim would get with skin. And the neat part about it is they don't wire your chest together anymore. Because I asked them how they do that, you know, when I got to the cardiologist in his office. I said, so exactly how do you wire the chest together? You know, how do you bring the chest cavity back together again? He said, well, we used to just wire it with stainless steel wire. He said, but now we have clips. And he said, it's a little square. And he said, it's about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. And he said, bottom goes underneath and top one, and we bring the ribs together. And then he said, we have a tool, compresses it, and locks it together. And he said, we do that all the way up the chest. And then he said, of course, we stitch and glue the outside. And I said, I don't see any stitch marks. He said, you didn't have any. He said, there was enough skin there that we could just glue you together. And I went like, okay. Same thing with my same thing with my wrist. There's not a stitch in there. It was all glue. He said, this new surgical glue is wild.
Well, that's good.
And yes, and tell PBR Street Gang, yes, I can cough. Not so much the first month, but I can now.
Very interesting. Very interesting experiences indeed. So, since you've been home, how have you had to pace yourself in order to, you know, not just jump right back into the investigative side of everything? What have you been doing to keep your time busy?
I've been reading a lot of, you know, I have a whole library in there. And, you know, there were a couple books in there I really wanted to get to, and I did get to them. That took up most of my time. Then people coming to visit, you know, like some of my team members, family, you know, come spend 3, 4, 5 hours with you. And the time flies, and, you know, I can be talking, like talking to you right now. And if I'd be in my recliner and just lean over just the right way, I'd fall right asleep. That's weird. Because I can never sleep in that friggin' recliner. Even though it's electric and it does all this and does all that. I mean, it's fine to sit there and watch TV or something like that. But as far as sleeping in it, I thought, no way. Oh, I couldn't live without that thing. Walks around the house, you know, around the outside of the house. I was allowed to drive 60 days out, was it? Something like that. So, I mean, I had people coming to cut the grass. My kid was coming over cutting the grass, my grandson. And I had another guy who's cutting my grass, and then they gave me this day I could drive so I could cut my own grass. But I'll tell you what, I'm on a riding mower, and I'm cutting about 1.5 acres. And I was so tired. And I was sitting on this thing driving it around. I wasn't doing anything. I was so tired when I got off that I could barely walk to the back door. That's weird. I think it a lot has to do with it seems to be not so good when you're like sediment laying there or sitting there moving around. I mean, I still, one of the things was really helping me a lot was, making supper for my wife, which I didn't do for the first month and a half. And then, I went back and started doing that. And, that, takes up time and I think the whole secret of it is to not think about what happened. Because if I think about what happened, I can put myself in a funk in a matter of minutes. So what I've learned to do was when I started having that goofy thoughts process go on, I'd pick up something to read, or I'd turn the TV on, or I'd take the dog for a walk, or I'd sit out there and talk to the neighbors, anything. And that seems to work. But I'll tell you what, it is weird. I mean, I've been in the hospital before. I'm pancreatitis, gallbladder, liver infected, the whole 9 yards, where they had a helicopter on standby. And that was nothing. That was a piece of cake. This is just totally bizarre. What you think you can do, which you did for all your life, basically, you can't do. What you thought you couldn't do, like sleeping in a recliner. Oh, my God. I can fall asleep in that recliner in a matter of minutes. Another thing that was not good still is, when you have too much dead time where, there's nothing going on and your mind automatically goes right back to the beginning and you start to relive the whole thing over and over again. And that and this overwhelming desire that you can do stuff that you really can't. Like when I came home, you couldn't lift anything over 10 pounds. And I went to take the trash out. And my wife said, "Are you crazy?" And I said, "No, I'm just going to take the trash out." She said, "That weighs more than 10 pounds. And I said, "Yeah, bull." I picked it an inch off the ground. I almost fell over. I mean, I was just so weak. You can't believe how weak you are. I mean, hell, a 2-year-old could have come in here and kicked my ass. But, as long as you keep yourself busy, like I said, going for a walk or reading a book, or if you're not thinking about it, nothing hurts. If you start thinking about it, everything hurts. Takes you right back to day one. But I don't know. It's an experience I wouldn't wish on anybody. But at the same time, I think if people went through that experience, they think a lot about different things that they never thought about. Like, I'm a Roman Catholic, and I'm not the best Roman Catholic. That came down the pike, believe me. But I for a long time, I was, studying the Holy Grail and, the books by Dan Brown and Catholicism and all that stuff, and Da Vinci Code stuff. And a couple of those books that I had added on to, like the Gnostic Bible and stuff like that, I never read them. And I, came into the library and pulled one off the shelf and went out there and started reading. And I know this is going to sound corny, but I felt more at ease, more peace. I just felt more peaceful at the time. And I don't know, a lot of strange things happen. when you're doing this. It's just weird. Because I never knew any. My father-in-law had one of these done years ago, but that's when he used to wire you together and you could see the wire sticking out. So I never really knew anybody that went through it. And it's amazing that when you do go through it, you find out that everybody had it done at one time or another, or they knew somebody that had it done. And it's a lot of rest. You got to realize when you're tired. When you find it's difficult to put one foot in front of the other just to walk across the room, you need to sit your can down and relax. And for my left hand, where they took that artery out, I have one of those. It's a ball you have to squeeze, to build that muscle back up around there, because they cut right through the muscle and everything to take that vein out, and that's from where they take that out. That's from my wrist to my elbow is not quite 12 inches. So they don't slit it open like they used to. Now they have a tool that they open right at the wrist about 3 inches, and they insert that tool around the artery, and then they close the tool, and it's actually a cutter. And they go all the way up. They follow that artery, and they're actually cutting it away from the muscle. And then when they get to the elbow part, they make a small incision, about half an inch, and they go in there and they pull that artery out, clamp it, staple it, clamp it, whatever they do. And then they just pull that other one right out the end, and they're ready to use it. So it's kind of gory when you're thinking about it, but I'll tell you one thing: you do not want to go on YouTube and watch the operation after you have this done. Oh my God. I did that, and I got through about 5 minutes of it. I went like, that's it, I'm out of here. Holy crap.
All right, I think we got a question here from Kevin. He says, Butch, they make you sit, maybe it's a comment. He says, Butch, they make you sit when you still have the muscle tone and want to get around. Once your muscles are used to resting, your body doesn't want to move, and then say you can. I mean, it gets a little tough on everything, eh? As we got about a minute here to go before break.
Yeah, no, what he said is right. I mean, they tell you not to overdo it. They tell you, if you feel that you can't take another step, sit down. And they don't want you laying down. They want you to sit up. I don't know why that is, but they say even with a heart attack, you should sit up. So it's... during that period when I came home, for that first 6 weeks, I had a nurse here every day. Visiting nurse from the hospital would come, check up, check my blood pressure and all that kind of stuff, and walk me around the yard, or just get me moving. And then when she was done, then the cardiac rehab people were here about every other day for a month. And, they're just giving you exercises to do, and, they give you a ball for your arm, or, whatever they need. But I'll tell you what, they take care of you. I got to say that. I mean, I couldn't want a better team. I mean, they were all just fantastic. I mean,
well, let's leave it right there, Butch, because we got to hop out for the break at the bottom of the hour. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days returns right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Thiemer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have all of you with us. I am your host, Dave Scott, hanging out with all of you. Big shout out to everybody on our website listening in on the SOR Space Travelers Club. Thank you so much for being there. You can join that club for just $5 a month. Also on our website, you can rock out to Bumblefoot, go read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, do a little bit of shopping in the SOR Vault, our store, and if you're looking for a great book, head on over to We Read the Night, everything at spacedoutradio.com. Also, all of our archives are free for you at youtube.com/spacedoutradio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get to it. We still got Butch Witkowski here. It's his return after a 6-month hiatus where he was, hanging out in Costa Rica looking for fancy monkeys, swimming with the sharks down in Australia, basking in the glory of the hurricanes of Florida. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Butch, I'm so glad you're here. And, for people who are just tuning in, Butch had a major heart attack about 6 months ago, and this is his return show. We've been waiting so badly for this night to happen, and it is here. I can't believe that we only have you for 2 more segments, Butch.
Well, I'm just glad I can do 2 more segments.
Well, if you're feeling up to it, we're going to do it. It's been quite an experience. It really has. I always thought I was pretty tough, but I got humbled pretty quick. And I wouldn't wish this on anybody, really. Well, maybe a couple. But it changes your thought process. Like, if I was going to just go up the street, I'd drive up the street, right? Now I go out and I walk past the car or the truck or my wife's car, and I walk. And first thing comes to my mind, you need to walk. It'll make you feel better, I never would have thought that way before. If I had to go half a block to go to a store, I'd drive. Or you get someplace where there's steps and then there's an escalator, like over at the mall. And my wife's heading for the escalator. I said, nah, you know what? I'll take the steps. And she just looks at me and goes like, you really are sick. It's conscious that you're willing to try anything so it doesn't happen again. And I'm just anxious to get back in the field, get out with the guys and get to these couple places we really need to go to. I'm so cranked about getting into that cave. The gentleman that turned us on to the cave said that it had been blocked off for many, many years, and he said the wood just rotted away. He said, so the wood just laying there on a pallet, so you can walk over it. And the folks that own the property where the cave is on, he said they died off years ago. He said he doesn't even know who owns that property anymore. And I said, are any signs up, keep out or anything? He said, nope. I said, what was the, he said, actually the cave they stored foodstuffs in over the winter. And he said, I don't know how long it's been there. He said, probably since the beginning of time. It's a limestone and granite cave. So hopefully, I'll settle for just finding some hair or bones. Got a couple questions coming in for you. Let's go over to the Ukrainian watermelon, who is asking, Butch, did you have a hard time being the victim and not the helper?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I sure did. I'll tell you what, it humbles you in a matter of seconds. When you, especially if you're a person that's outgoing, kind of strong in your beliefs and, sound of mind and body, or, close to it anyway. And all of a sudden, I mean, you're nothing. You're a wimpling little cell. I mean, you can't do anything by yourself. You can't think straight because you're so drugged up. I mean, you're just in another world for a short amount of time. But it really does tell you that in that short amount of time, anything can happen. And it can happen so fast that you don't even record it. And I've been through it, and anybody that wants to know what it's like, they can email me through the website. I mean, it's not fun. It's for that first 4 days, you're pretty much scared to death, and then you try to act like you're not, but you are, because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they're going to take your heart offline and put it on a machine, so the machine is keeping you alive. And I'm thinking, so what if the battery goes dead in the machine, or they shut the power off because you didn't pay the bill? What happens then? You're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, you chose the wrong hospital if that happens, my friend.
That's true.
All right, let's move on to another question here. I love this question from Shar. She is saying, Butch, has your bucket list changed now?
No, not really. It's still the same. I got the investigation bug that bit me in the butt many, many years ago, and that's still my thing. I mean, as far as bucket list, yeah, there's places I need to go. Going to be doing a film on UFOs for a company. We did the interviews a few weeks back. There's a couple other things in the pipeline. Where the group we're trying to get together a not a round table, but more like a retreat for some people in ufology, some people in the paranormal, and some people in cryptozoology. And, more long-time researchers, just to get a group together for like 2-3 days at some resort somewhere and sit down and figure out what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right. Is there any other things we should be trying, with new types of equipment or that kind of stuff? Just off the beaten path, no public involved, just long-term researchers. But we figured that's going to take a year to get done. But it's enlightening. Your thought process does change. Where before I was probably at that point where I go like, screw that. Now I stop and think about it first. It changes you, that's for sure. But the bucket list is pretty much stayed the same. My bucket list has always been to get out to different places. There's a couple investigative places I'd like to get out to. I really like to get to Stevensville, Texas, when they had the UFO sightings out in Stevensville. And there's some caves up along the Hudson River in New York I'd like to go through. Where your equipment works fine outside, but when you go inside, it doesn't work worth a damn. I'd like to figure that one out. But, pretty much stayed the same. That didn't really change much.
All right, let's move on here. As we got a few more questions. PBR is asking, Butch, how often do you feel for a heartbeat on your wrist?
About every 15 minutes.
I bet.
And there ain't one there because there's no artery there.
Damn.
Oh, God. the first time I went back to the hospital for a first checkup, and the guy come over and he just starts, putting the thing on my arm. And I said, that's not going to work too well. I said, that artery's not there anymore. And he went like, oh. Then he put a red band on there. So if anybody has to take your pulse, they don't screw around with that arm because it's worthless. Yeah, about every 15 minutes.
All right, let's move on here, my friend. And let's get to another question. I got a couple from Trip here. His first one is, since all of this has happened, have you started having any further visions?
No. Mm-mm. No, nothing. The drugs that I'm on, like the ones I take at night before I go to bed, and I can't spell them, let alone pronounce them. They put me out in a matter of minutes. Now, I may only be out for an hour and a half or 2 hours, but I'm out. Sleeping is a problem. If you can stay asleep, that's all well and good, but 9 chances out of 10, if I get 4 hours sleep a night, that's a lot for me. For some reason, I just got to get up. And the thing is a little spooky. And actually, when I brought it up to the doctor, he said, oh, yeah, it's quite common. I get up between 2 and 3 a.m. every day. I don't set a clock. I don't change my regimen. But between 2 and 3, I'm wide awake. I'll come back here and look at stuff on the internet or look at some reports or something in the office or in the library. But isn't that weird?
That is kind of weird.
Not between 1 and 4, between 2 and 3, every day.
I have a feeling I know why. That's because that's when the aliens come.
Oh.
And you're just making sure that the aliens aren't coming to take you.
Well, if I see one with a name tag, Paul, I'm out of here.
That would be phenomenal. You realize if that happens, you have to go.
Oh, yeah.
You have to.
Oh, absolutely. But there's going to be some requirements, like they have to let me take a camera and or a couple cameras, and I need to take a recorder so I can, basically talk my way through the photographs.
Wow.
With my luck, I'll get on the ship and they'll go like, "Hey, you just arrived in time for dinner."
Yeah, so is the dinner. Oh, Butchie. Yeah. What's for dinner? I don't know. Exactly. Follow up from Trip. He is also asking, have you received any reports from California of the cryptids escaping the forest fires?
No, but there is. I did catch a little bit of one. I gotta get on it tomorrow. It was given to me by one of my guys, where evidently one of the backup fire companies that are going in to help these guys that normally fight the fires, the smoke jumpers and stuff, got some video of something running along the fire line, not in the fire, outside the fire line, but running and crossing over in front of the fire truck and disappearing into the other side, on the other side of the road into the woods where there's no fire yet. And he swears and declares it's Bigfoot. So I want to get a hold of that fella, and we want to try and get that video. That would be something, because there've been reports over time where these large forest fires up north, in Washington State, Oregon, Northern California, Southern California, where they say Bigfoots have been pulled from the fire.
You do have to wonder.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to wonder. That was the same thing as up here, is when all the forest fires happened here, they figured with the Sasquatch around here that they were escaping, and they just haven't come back yet. And now they're finally starting to 2 years later.
The only one that really kind of stuck in my mind, it really sounded like a good report, but there's not a whole lot on it, was in Northern California. About 10 years ago, they had a pretty sizable fire. And two of the firemen thought it was a bear that was, barely crawling. It was pretty badly burned, but it was still alive. And they actually went in to put it out of its misery with a poleaxe. And when they turned it over, it wasn't a bear. And, of course, they called the government, and that's the end of that story. But there has to be more on it than that.
You never know. You never know. I think wasn't that Nevada? I thought that was in Nevada.
Yes, I do. No, you are right. It was Nevada. It was in the Nevada high country. Yeah.
Yeah, just outside of Reno somewhere, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Still trying to figure out how in southern Nevada you have forest fires when there's no bloody trees around. But that just...
Well, look at the brush fire. Look at the brush fires they have in Arizona. Ain't no trees.
I know.
They got a brush fire, man. It'll take out a couple 100 acres in an hour.
That is true. Very, very true. All right. As we only got about 5.5 minutes here before we got to go to break at the top of the hour, Butch Witkowski, strange days going on here. Butch, there has been so much UFO talk over the last 6-8 months that I'll be honest with you, I'm going to stick right away from that and just get into the cryptid talk here with everything that's going on. About a month ago, I was at the Forest Moon Paracon, and there is this guy there, I'm not going to mention his name, from BFRO Canada. And he's talking about Sasquatch. And I thought the guy was pretty smart. He's a pretty smart dude. But the arrogance of his speech, where he kept calling Sasquatch the big hairy monkey throughout the entire time, or the North American monkey, or something along those lines, didn't sit well with me. To me, it seemed very, very narrow-minded for what we are dealing with here. Is that kind of one of those stereotypical things that we continually are going to have to debate about? Because I'll give you an example. Eric Cooper, who is a good friend of this show, was pretty upset because the guys who were speaking Bigfoot were supposed to do a workshop on how to set up a gifting site. And the two guys who did it literally laughed them off right in front of everybody and said, yeah, why would we do that stupid crap? Literally.
Wow.
That's, yeah. So
I would have escorted them to the door.
But it just goes to show how narrow-minded a lot of the research is in this field.
Well, these people out there, and, I've encountered them at conferences where, they know it all. They know that, Bigfoot doesn't exist, or UFOs don't exist, or this, or, you go on and on and on. And, if you want to shut them down, just look at them and say, like, okay, so let's say you're right. So what do you think they have? What do you think they are? And usually they walk away. They don't have an answer. They try to embarrass people to get people to walk away from them. I always tell people, you run into these clowns, stand your ground. Just ask them what they think it is. If it's not a UFO, what is it? What craft do we have that can do what you just witnessed? That can go zigzagging from one end of a skyline from the horizon to the other horizon in a second or less, stop, turn colors, and shoot straight up. What plane do we have that can do that? Look, I gave up on these clowns a long time ago. I have no time for them. If they'd ever be at something I was putting out, a show, or not a show, but a conference or anything like that, and they start that crazy stuff, I got a couple big boys on my team. One's 6'5" and the other's 6'4", and they're both cops. Escort these clowns to the parking lot and make sure they leave. I wouldn't put up with that stuff. And I know a lot of people put up with it because, like the the BFRO, big name, right? Well, their credibility is zero. I mean, what did they ever find? I mean, these are the clucks that run through the woods with a piece of cheese and a bacon sandwich and a torch, yelling at the top of their lungs and yelling, "That's Squatch territory," or "There's a Squatch in these woods." Yeah, like I'm going to believe these guys? Bobo or whatever. Yeah, Bobo, the big guy. He takes out 2 dozen donuts and throws the donuts around. Well, he only throws out 1 dozen. He eats the other dozen. And I'm supposed to believe that this guy's for real? It's just like the Mountain Monsters crew. Nice guys. I've met them all. They really are nice guys. But it's a show, and they'll tell you that. Hey, it's a show. It's a TV show. We work on the script with the writers, and this is what we come up with. And he said, it's a show. And I said, well, I figured that out when you were shooting at the lake monster with all the guns firing, but there was no splashes in the water, so I assumed you were shooting blanks. Like, hell yeah. He said, we don't want to get shot. So, I mean, there's some that'll they'll come right up front and tell you, hey, it's a show. I do what they tell me to do, and I get a paycheck. But then you got guys like the BFRO who are experts. And I will say this till the day I don't want to say that. Forget that line.
Yeah.
I've always said this. There are no experts in the paranormal, in ufology, cryptozoology, or anything else. There are no experts. If they were experts, that means that they found something and it's been proven to be fact. It's true. They have the body. They have the DNA. They have, good video. They got something. But they don't have it. But they still say they're experts. I've never called myself a ufologist because there is no such thing as a ufologist, nor is there any such thing as a cryptozoologist. I don't know what the paranormal guys call themselves anymore. But I just want to always be involved with people that are looking for the truth. That's it. That's the main thing, the truth. What are we looking for? Can we figure out different ways of looking for it? Does it exist? Can we even prove that maybe it don't exist now, but it did, at one time? There's just so many ways of going about it. But when people mention the BFRO, I just laugh because those guys are a joke. And that poor girl that was with them, I can't remember her name, she was scared to death. Every time they went out anywhere, she was just scared to death. And I thought, yeah, that's the one I want to have screaming in my ear. But, I mentioned this on the show probably about half a dozen times. I met an old Bigfoot researcher one time, old guy. Well, he's probably dead by now. He was in his late 70s.
Do me a favor. Let's save that story for when we come back. Because we're literally about to go for break here. 2 hours in, half hour to go with Butch Witkowski. Then we get to the SOR Newswire, the Thought of the Dave. By the way, Butch, you're going to want to listen into the Thought of the Dave because it's all about where people would want to investigate with you. We'll get to it in hour 3 of Spaced Out Radio.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR space traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Themer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are. And what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning us in. Hi to everyone listening in on WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, down in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF AM 1560. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio and Bart L's Kingdom of Nye Radio. Glad to have you with us. Don't forget, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Unicity. Unicity is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, has a plethora of features for you. Read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. It's updated daily. You could rock out to Bumblefoot, fill out a Sightlines report if you've seen something strange and weird. Shop at the SOR Vault, because you'd look good in one of our T-shirts. Definitely would. Also, you can sign up for the Space Travelers Club. It's $5 a month. Good value there. And if you're looking for a great book to read, head on over to We Read the Night. For the final time tonight, we introduce Butch Witkowski from UFOcop.com. He is on the mend finally after suffering a major heart attack a few months ago. This is his first show back since he's feeling healthy and motivated enough to actually speak to us. And it's been a very emotional show. It's one that I will never forget because I love this man. He is a hero and a mentor of mine, and I'm so glad that he's back for all of you to listen to as well. Butch, thank you so much for coming back on.
Oh, my God, it's such a pleasure to be back on. You can't believe it.
Right before the break, you were going to finish a story up for us.
Okay, where was I going? Which one was it?
About Bigfoot. You were talking to somebody about Bigfoot. They were telling you a story.
Oh, yeah. This gentleman had a couple encounters, so he says. And a couple of fellas that were with him, I know him personally. And, they were going like, this guy's losing it. He's seeing stuff that's not there. And it was about, got to be back in May, that one of his trail cams caught something, right? And the damn SD card got stuck inside the trail cam. He couldn't get it out. And I guess he took it to somebody, and they said, the only way you're going to get out of here is if you bust the camera. Well, he didn't want to break the camera. So he screwed around with this thing, and he finally, a bobby pin or a paper clip or something, he finally got it out. And he sent it to me to look at. And I want to tell you something. I think he's got something there. It's not too far away from the camera, maybe 25 yards, maybe. And this, it does look like a Bigfoot, is looking at a deer that's at the other end of the shot, at a bunch of brush. But when I blew it up, there were two more in the shot that you couldn't really see until you blew it up. I took it to like 300 or 400%, and so. And I know the guy for years, and he's always been trustworthy as far as I know, and never gave me any cause to think otherwise. And I sent it out to get it verified, and it came back as a hoax.
Really?
I haven't figured out how he did it. And the people looked at it and said they can't figure it out either. But it's definitely a hoax.
Well, what
now,
made it a hoax?
Well, when you insert something into a digital photo, there's always a pixelation around the object.
Right.
So, okay, so if you have, let's say you have a shot of a horse and a deer, but you put the horse in there. So the deer is going to look right. There's not going to be any pixelation, but the horse is going to have pixelation all around the outside of it, outlined. Well, the three Bigfoot are all pixelated, and the deer isn't. So it was the real shot was the deer, and the hoax was the three Bigfoot. So I was going to be kind about it because, I know the guy a long time, and I sent him an email and wanted him to explain to me why he did that. Why did you do that and send it to me? And it was the stupidest excuse I've ever heard in my life. And, I just won't bother with the guy anymore. But he said, he says, you do a lot of radio shows. He said, everything from coast to coast to this to that. You had your own radio show. You were on this radio show. He said, you do this conference, that conference. He said, and I just wanted to be standing up beside you and get some credibility. Now, that's sick. That is sick. So I put that photograph, his photograph, and the doctored photograph into a PowerPoint that I use. And when I go out and do a PowerPoint, I'm going to show it. And his name is on it. And I told him I was going to do it.
Bad way to get credibility.
Well,
All right. It seems like we had a little bit of a malfunction here with one of our programs. I'm going to have to quickly call Butch back here. I don't know why this goes on, but it seems to happen every now and again. Butch, do we got you?
Yeah, I'm here.
I apologize. I've been having troubles with one of my broadcast programs recently here where it's decided that it wants to all of a sudden just crash in the middle of things. So I do apologize about that.
Oh, I've had that happen many times, so don't worry about it. But here's the thing that bothered me. Now, here was a guy that I trusted with his research, took it for truth, and all he was doing was hanging around to get an edge and using me to push his fake photograph. Now, I said, did you not think that I would check that photograph or I would just take your word for it? He didn't have an answer, but I'm pretty sure he probably figured that since we were friends, close friends, maybe not, but friends, that I would push that photograph for him and give him credibility. And I told him what I was going to do. I said, you're not going to do that to me or anybody else. And I said, I've always been up front with everything I've ever done in this field. I've never had anybody come against me with any report, good or bad. And I said, you're not going to get away with it either, because I said I'm going to post it when I go to conferences that you're the guy that put this photograph out, and here's how you faked it. So the only good part of this is he ditched his website and got off of Facebook and off of Twitter, and he's not going to do that to anybody else.
Well, that's good.
That's not right. It's just not right. I know people that, they don't have 2 dimes to rub together, but they get out in the field on their last couple gallons of gas. They're wearing boots that leak, flashlight batteries that don't work. I mean, they're out there, and they're really trying hard. And I'll help them any way I can, any way, shape, or form. But guys like that, I have no time for that. None whatsoever. And I'll just expose him for what he is.
Sad that it's going to get that way. It really is sad. Are we seeing, though, because over the last couple of years, we have seen a lot of people faking evidence, especially in the UFO world with this horrible, horrible CGI effects. I mean, for people who can't tell that if a lot of this is fake, it really, really got to give your head a shake. And,
right.
And the fake news is absolutely everywhere. And it's funny because, as I mentioned this, it reminds me of a conversation I had with this person on Facebook today who posted an article, totally off topic, but posted an article about, and I have to laugh at this, it was about how this 41-year-old man in Canada was put to death because he couldn't afford to pay his health care bills. So apparently the Canadian government put him to death because he couldn't pay. And the obvious fake news, because that just doesn't happen up here. And the people who were responding to that, I was like, are you serious? Like, you're actually buying this crap right now? And long story short, but the fakeness is out there, and people are gullible enough to buy it, whether it's a fake story about, putting someone to death because they can't afford their bills, or the UFO CGIs, or, people running around in the forest trying to act like Bigfoot wearing a gorilla suit. I mean, we see it all the time. But is it getting worse or is it getting better? Because what I've noticed on social media is you don't really see a lot of that crap anymore.
Well, I think the reason for that, Dave, is that researchers that are out there doing their thing, been at it a long time, and not just me, but many others, have had enough, and they start exposing these people or threatening to expose them, and they just went bye-bye. They just went away. And where you could get on Facebook, Twitter, any of the social media, and you could spend an hour picking out fakes. No problem. And then they started calling them on it, and they just started going away, and which is a good thing, because there's too many good researchers out there. Like I said, they don't have the wherewithal to have vehicles like I have, or like my team has, or have that many members on a team. Maybe just them. And the big thing now is where researchers who I always thought were really good researchers now have made videos of themselves while they're doing their research and selling them. They're not doing research anymore. They're selling videos. That's sad, too, because I really thought a couple of those guys really were good. But can't be right all the time, I guess.
Well,
I'm glad to see that. Yeah, they're out there. I'm just glad to see that there's not that many anymore, because it was really getting, people don't realize how much time, effort, energy, and money you spend into just going out for a couple days to do research, and then you have somebody that's taking pictures in their backyard and faking them. And all of a sudden they have this credibility that everybody thinks they're doing such a great job, and they never left their backyard. And then you got other teams that are out there. They're sitting out in the snow and the rain and cold weather and, the whole 9 yards, and they don't get credit for anything. But I'll give them all the credit I can whenever I can, because I've always said that, the people that are out there doing it and are doing it the right way and are, pushing whatever they're doing, whether it's paranormal, cryptozoology, or ufology, and they're pushing to the nth to get an answer. We'll do anything we can to help them, whether it's equipment or boots on the ground or just, going through their photographs or helping them with mapping or anything like that. It doesn't matter. We'll do it. But I find out that it's a hoax or it's a game, I will do my best to expose that person. And I've only had to do it twice now. Out of all these years, 33 years now, I guess it is. I only had to do it twice, but I did it. And I'm not sorry I did it either. And if they pulled it off tomorrow, I'd do it again.
Well, I don't blame you for doing that. And really you have to be able to stop the BS meter from running, because the moment we allow this to happen, and I strongly believe people are waking up. I mean, there's always been this persona with like the YouTube channel Secure Team 10, that they have placed fake videos on there. It's no surprise that they have. It's something that they have used and allowed people to so-called make their own judgment, even though it's pretty obvious with what they have done. And they've got 2.3 million subscribers on there, and people are buying it, eating it up. But I think that a lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that it's not real. We're not that stupid. Stop pulling the wool over our eyes. There's a real phenomena going on out there, and we just want to know what's going on. We don't need all these hucksters out there trying to pull the wool over our eyes to make fun of what we've seen or what we've experienced.
Right. Yeah, and I know it sounds corny, but if you're going to be dishonest about this, there's a whole lot of other things you can go do. Go make porn films with goats or something. I don't know. But researchers have gotten smarter. The ways of finding hoaxes has changed a lot. We can find them a lot quicker. And I just have no time for them anymore. I just know too many good people out there, male and female, that really bust their butts to get this stuff done. I know they can't afford it, or they don't have the equipment, or and when they call up for a little help, they always sound so bad that they had to ask. And I always tell them, like, look, you got something going, we'll be there. Don't worry about it. And it's the only way it's going to get ahead, because they're at each other with a pickaxe every chance they get. One guy brags that he gets more reports than this guy, but they live across the street from each other. Makes me crazy. But I have never changed that. It's always been the same with me. If you're going to do the job and you're honest about it and you're really trying hard and you need help, we'll help you. And I know other people that will do the same thing. All across this country, they'll help people out. But boy, if I catch you hoaxing something, I will nail you to the cross. No problem whatsoever. And then try and prove that it's not a hoax. And I'll have 5 people up there showing how you did it. So anyway, I got rid of that guy. He's gone. He pulled all his garbage off the internet. But he had people believe it. And then it gets to the point where they start asking for money.
Of course. Of course. Much like Streetlight Mike. Be happy he hasn't reached out to you.
No, that's not going to happen. I'm already wise to that guy.
Well, he's already bugging Mark D'Antonio the last few months.
Oh, God. Well, I think Mark's smart enough not to buy that crap.
Oh, Mark knows, but, you know, I actually got a message from old Street Lamp Mike the other day. Felt pretty good. Felt pretty good to get the old Street Lamp and watch how he breaks it down and get all the messages that people are telling him it's a street light, and he just doesn't buy it. Doesn't buy it at all.
Oh, God. You know, it was fun. Like I mentioned the Mountain Monsters before. I mean, they tell you flat out, look, this isn't real. This is just a thing we make up for television. You know, we don't actually build these cages that you saw with the big, 6-8-inch trees. And he said they have crew come in and build those things. We don't do that stuff. He says, do any of us look like we could climb a 6-foot tree? I went like, no. But I mean, they're upfront about it. I mean, they're just celebrities, and they're putting on a show, or and they're, I guess, the people watching the show, whether they believe it or not, or they just watch it for the comedy of it, because it is funny. It's the ones that try to make you believe that everything coming out of their mouth is fact and truth, and you know it's not. And I've walked out of more than one conference because of that. It's I have no room for hoaxers at all. None whatsoever. But that's just the way this game is, buddy.
Isn't that the truth? Dr. Butch, we only have you for about 90 more seconds here.
All righty.
And what a pleasure it has been to talk to you again on the air. Everything that was old feels new again, including your ticker. And, I just want to say, on behalf of all Spaced Out Radio listeners, we are so happy that our thoughts and prayers and every piece of energy that we sent you worked, because there's a lot of people out here in Spaced Out Radio land who absolutely love you, and we wouldn't know what to do without you. So the fact that you're able to rejoin us here on Strange Days has been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And we could thank Lon Strickler, Eric Altman, and Brian Bender for filling in for you while you were gone. But no offense to those wonderful, wonderful gentlemen, it just wasn't the same without you here.
Well, like I said in the very beginning, I mean, all the thoughts and prayers I got from the SORT crew. I'm sure, even though, there's no way you can put it down on paper and say that this actually happened, but those thoughts and prayers, I'm sure, helped get me through this, because, when you're sitting there and you're thinking, and, there's no connection to anything other than your own thoughts, which aren't really good at that point. And then, you see stuff on the internet, or you get an email, or you get a phone call, and just to know that people are thinking and caring that much to even think about you, or, send a prayer or some thoughts. Let alone the candy, which I can't have, but I really do appreciate it.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Mr. Butch, we'll talk to you on November 25th. Get you to hold on 1 second. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today. We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/spacedoutradio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Hey Spaced Out Radio fans, it's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rockin'. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio. At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have you with us. Boy, was that fantastic to have Butch Witkowski back. If you have missed most of this show or others, you can always check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, has a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Do a little shopping at our SOR vault. Sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club. It's $5 a month. Want a new book? Head on over to We Read the Night. And, of course, the SOR Newswire, always updated daily by the intrepid Captain Shirk. Speaking of the news, let's get to it, shall we? The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky. Everything can be found at spacedoutradio.com. And, you know, baseball, especially during playoff time, is meant for heroes. Sometimes they're on the diamond, sometimes they're not. A Washington Nationals fan became a viral star when a TV camera crew caught him taking a baseball off his chest without dropping either of the two beers he was carrying. Jeff Adams had a couple of Bud Lights in his hands coming down the stairs during Sunday's World Series Game 5 against the Houston Astros when the ball struck him right in the chest. Ouch. Adams says he saw the ball coming toward him and made an intentional decision to let it hit him in the chest, so he didn't have to drop either of the beverages he was carrying. Says, I'm solid. You know, that's a good American kid right there. Good American kid. He credited his lucky hat, which he was wearing for 15 years, or has been wearing for 15 years, with helping him not spill the beers. The official Bud Light Twitter account saw this, and the company plans to reward Adams, calling him a hero. Or would that be a beero? Good on him. Taking priorities. Taking one for the team, the buddies. Taking the beers instead of taking the baseball. Perfect. Got a chance to catch a World Series baseball? Now let's take it off the chest. You know, equipment? Who needs equipment? And, you know, he actually deflected his chest into it. He moved towards the ball. This ball wasn't getting anywhere. He took it. Yeah, good shot. Good for him. Good for him. You know, and I hope he gets a couple of free cases of Bud Light for that, too, from Budweiser. I know they're looking for him. Here's a strange one. Apparently there was this time a ghost was shot dead in Hammersmith in the UK. As one witness would later state in court, it was an extreme dark night, January 1804. Some people in Hammersmith were feeling uneasy. For the past 3 months, local residents had been reporting multiple sightings of a ghost around the area, but on this evening, the case would be take a shocking turn which would lead to a murder trial. The implications of the accused's defense wouldn't be resolved in English law for 180-plus years. The Hammersmith ghost was first spotted in November of 1803. This specter wasn't content with merely floating around the West London neighborhood. It was supposedly attacking people, with several claiming to have been physically assaulted in and around Hammersmith churchyard. Some thought it was the spirit of a man who had killed himself and whose spirit could not lie in rest. Descriptions of its appearance varied, but most stated that it was tall and wore white. However, some were skeptical that this so-called ghost was everything it had claimed to be, not when one ghost or one witness alleged the ghoul was seen discarding a white tablecloth before running off on one occasion. Still, many local people remain sufficiently unnerved by the possibility of the supernatural presence haunting Hammersmith back in the day. Yeah, until he was murdered. Yeah, reports of the ghost on the prowl had also led to ghost hunters on the march. Could you see Grant and Jason there? Ooh, it's a ghost. Ooh, it's a ghost. On January 3rd, local man Francis Smith decided he was going to go look for the supernatural resident. Took a shotgun with him. Given the insubstantial nature of the ghosts were legendarily associated with, it was hard to know that the bullets weren't going to go through him, just in him. Yeah, apparently went off for murder, this guy. Interesting piece of history. All right. I'm shaking my head here. Shaking my head. I'm getting tired of this Impossible Burger crap. Captain Shirk, I know you're laughing because you know I'm going to read it. First off, it's not a burger. Anything with alternative meat is not a burger. You cannot make burgers politically correct. There's a lot you can in life, but not burgers. All right? Vegans, vegetarians, find your own dish. We don't try and steal yours. Don't steal ours. Even though it's ours, uses yours for food. So most of the alt meat we eat nowadays, including, who's we, by the way? Who's we? Anyways, there's a number of startups that are still working on ethical meat that is grown from animal cells, giving you a real burger without the cruelty and climate change issues. Yeah, until the humans start getting gassy. Those can be mushy because they lack collagen present in real muscle tissue, so there's no way to create steaks. Well, Harvard University researchers have turned vegan, and they have found a way to simulate real meat by growing cow and rabbit muscle cells on a scaffold made out of gelatin. In the body, cells don't just sit there in a pile. They get physical support from water, collagen products, proteins, nutrients, which helps the cells grow and align. To grow muscle tissues that resembled meat, we needed to find a scaffold material that was edible and allow muscle cells to attach and grow in 3D, said first study author, Harvard Seas research associate Luke McQueen. This guy in my life could be enemy number one right now. To create such a scaffold, the team elected to use gelatin, which is made from the collagen extracted from the skin, bones, and connective tissue of domesticated. Where is this going? You're fake burgering. You should be thrown in jail right now. You shouldn't have, $325,000, all right, to try and play with burgers. You're destroying a culture here, Harvard. Destroying a culture. Should never, ever do that. Leave the burgers alone. Okay? The vegans have their grass, their dandelions, their quinoa, or whatever the hell it's called. Leave the burgers alone. We don't need you. We don't harm you. Leave it be. Let it go. Terrible. Can't even finish the story. I'm so mad. All right. A device used by Samsung to launch a Cara Delevingne selfie into space has apparently made a dramatic return to Earth. Nancy Mumby-Welke of Gretio County, Michigan, heard a loud crash outside her farmland home this weekend, only to discover a large object in her backyard. Unbelievable! Look what just fell out of the sky. And 911 is baffled and is caught in our tree. We realized it had fallen from the sky, Mumby-Welke said. It looked like a satellite. The device carried both a Samsung logo and that of a South Dakota-based high-altitude balloon manufacturer, Raven Industries, which eventually came to collect the crashed apparatus. Now, thankfully, there were no injuries that occurred and the balloon was subsequently retrieved, Samsung said. We regret any inconvenience this may have caused. The company claims the landing was planned and happened in a selected rural area. As PR stunts go, this was one over-the-top event, even by Samsung standards. The space selfie programmed in the photo of the Cara Delevingne that was taken on a Galaxy S10 Plus and was supposedly the world's first selfie sent into space. Users could then upload their own personal photos to a website for a chance to see them on display on the screen of the Galaxy S10 5G on board the balloon. Our relentless pioneering spirit continues to show that amazing things can happen on Samsung screens, even from the stratosphere, Samsung Europe CMO Benjamin Braun said at the launch event. Our ethos is do what you can't, and the Samsung Space Selfie is just that. We continually break the boundaries of what is possible with innovation, and tonight's Space Selfie launch is no different until it almost smacked into a person's house in Michigan. A great white shark. What is going on with you? Trying to scare the bejesus out of me. Get me all fired up about the burgers, and now we're talking sharks. Anyways, Jaws was found, 2,000 pounds, 15 feet, 5 inches, swimming along the U.S. East Coast. The female shark has been tagged with a tracker which registered her being off the coast in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, October 12th. Since then, the shark has moved further south to the Florida Keys, where she showed up Saturday. The shark, it's named called Unamaki, a term used by indigenous people in Nova Scotia, which means land of the fog. OSearch, a nonprofit tracks marine life around the ocean on the East Coast there. So they first tagged it in September. She was the second biggest white shark the group had tagged in the Northwest Atlantic. Big, mature female. She has the potential to lead us to the site where she gives birth and exposes a new white shark nursery. Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission said while the white shark was in a good area, they did remind people along Florida beaches and waterways that sharks can be curious and it could be a little dangerous at times, so please beware. She's a big girl. Big girl. All right. Another shark story? Authorities in Florida say a surfer who jumped off his board received minor cuts when he landed directly on top of a shark. This is why I don't do the ocean. This stuff happens. You can't make this up. This isn't Secure Team 10 here. The Volusia County Beach Patrol said the 27-year-old surfer jumped off his board 1 p.m. Sunday at the New Smyrna Beach Inlet. The surfer was treated at the scene for minor cuts and was able to drive himself home after the incident. Well, of course the shark is going to bite. The guy landed on top. It's a defense mechanism. I don't even blame the shark on this one. I don't. If you're surfing in the ocean where there happens to be a lot of sharks, chances are if you land on one, you're going to get bit. It's going to happen. I mean, am I the only one who sees this? It's like that awesome video of that paddleboarder going out over the waves and he gets knocked off his paddleboard by a very clean body check by a dolphin. Very clean. Flipper was in. Good solid hit. Now, in today's NHL, that would have been a penalty. because they've totally made a mockery of the game. The NHL did. So I don't watch it very much anymore. Oh, that made contact. That's a hit. That's a penalty right there. Anyways, you land on a shark, bad things are going to happen. When you surf where there's sharks, bad things are going to happen. Where there's ocean, there's sharks, and bad things are going to happen. It's the 11th documented shark bite off the coast of Volusia County in 2019, 11 of them. The species of shark involved in the incident was unknown. He got away. A man has been injured in a golf cart crash at a nudist resort in Maryland. Isn't it a little cold to be driving around nude in Maryland at this time of year? Anne Arundel County Fire spokesman Eric Kornmeyer says the man suffered serious injuries and was taken by ambulance to a trauma center in Baltimore. He says the injuries weren't considered life-threatening. He says the man crashed onto a tree Saturday afternoon, causing the cart to overturn. He wasn't wearing a helmet at the time, nor a condom for protection. Kornmeyer says the man then called 911 from the building where he was either visiting or staying. No word if his balls got into a hole in one. Finally, check your art, especially if it gets handed down. An old painting found in a kitchen of an elderly woman in France earlier this year, which was determined to be the work of a 13th century artist, made her a multimillionaire this past weekend. Yeah, the masterpiece, titled Christ Mocked, attributed to Italian painter Cimabue, sold for $26.6 million to an anonymous buyer near Chantilly, north of Paris, reportedly making it the most expensive medieval painting ever sold. The expected sale price of the unsigned work, measuring 10 inches by 8 inches, was supposed to be between $4.4 and $6.6 million. Well, it just shattered that. Make sure you're never naked on a golf cart. Where's my clown, Marty? Waiting for my clown on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we post a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages and read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. With the return of Butch Witkowski tonight, where would you like to investigate with Butch? Joe, probably in not a usual place, such as reported by an experiencer as yourself, Dave, since I consider you credible and be interesting to investigate at the spot of sightings of Sasquatch and other things you personally have witnessed, and not just those of particular folklore. All right. Marty, I'm saving yours to the end because it's good. It's real good. Bobby, SOR headquarters and find the source of the Illuminati wasps. I think I almost got them all, Bobby. I think I saw one the other day. You should see the kill zone on the floor of my patio, on the deck of my patio, and the stairs going down. It is a kill zone. I'm doing well. I'm going to try and hit them tomorrow as well. Heidi, the entities at the barn and by the mound of soil, please, can we have an update on that? Also, I'd love to see the FLIR pics of that if Butch has any. Tim wants to take Butch to north central Pennsylvania, of course, or just listen to stories of Butch tell them. Grant, right on the farm where the Todd Seas incident occurred. Kelly, Appalachian Mountain Range. If we don't find Bigfoot or Dogman, at least we'll stumble on some moonshiners and have a drink. Jim, the Lycan Loop, of course. Maybe the chicken barn with the Watcher entities. Hell, I'd investigate a good steak with him as well. Great to have you back, Butch. Nick, Mokili Mabembe in the Congo, easily one of the most interesting creatures I have ever heard or read about. John, any updates? I apologize, John. I didn't get a chance to ask Butch this question on the shadow entities up at the barn. I do apologize. Ryan. Well, Butch, Ryan wants you to come to his property, spacewolfresearch.com, near Skinwalker Ranch, and wants you to come and investigate it with him. Shauna, everything and anything. Just so glad he's well and back. I've really missed him. Bless you, Butch. Larry, Lake Calumet, and the Chicago Batman. Jade, maybe check out those Zendra portals. It would just be a cool thing to hang out wherever Butch was and wherever we went. Kevin, I want to take Butch out with me to the Mosquito Creek Wilderness area in northeast Ohio to see if we can flush out a grass man or run down some dogmen. If that doesn't pan out, then I just want us to investigate hell together. Either way, we're going to have a bitchin' time. The Ukrainian watermelon. Anywhere Butch wants to go, I would be happy shaking his hand and having a coffee and just talking. Marty gets the final word. How about Vegas? Even if you find nothing during the investigation, the after party would be awesome. I'd want an invite to that, Marty. Definitely want an invite to that. Thank you for everybody taking part in today's Thought of the Dave. We will do it again tomorrow on Facebook and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Big thank you for all the love and support that all of you gave to Butch Witkowski over the last few months. And it was so nice to have him back on the air tonight. Oh, you have no idea how relieved I am that he is back, he is healthy, and we will once again talk to Butch Witkowski on Strange Days. His next appearance, just 2 more of 2019. November 25th is the next one. Hey, big thanks also to Captain Shirk for getting some fantastic burgers, Captain. Really? Getting some fantastic news together for the SOR Newswire tonight. We're going to do that again. Don't forget you can check out all the news at spacedoutradio.com. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, in our chat room, Space Out Radio's SOR Space Travelers Club on our website, the Travelers Club on Facebook, Spreaker, Revolution Radio, LGAB, and at hashtag Spaced Out Radio on Twitter, wherever you may be. Please remember this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Hey, thank you so much for sharing a special evening with us tonight. We absolutely loved having Butch back. And together, my friends,
make a mistake. We're watching.
We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. God, I love that song. Little Brother is Watching by Mr. P. Go get it today. Have a good night, everybody. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Ian Holt is here talking Halloween. Good night.